Well, would you look at this couch? Maybe a little bit of a setting change. Did you miss me? It's been like 6 months. I still respond to the comments, so keep commenting. What's good, everyone on YouTube? It's me again, back with another video, and it has been a long time since I've done a video. Few months. Hope you guys have been okay. To my 1,000 subscribers that are still around. But I decided to come back today on this new couch just because I think the room backdrop is a little bit creased up. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so you never miss a video I upload, even though I haven't uploaded in a few months. But just do it anyway. And before I introduce this shoe, there's a little bit of a backstory to this. Back in primary school, there was someone in my grade who had a pair of these interesting hybrids called the Air Max Plus 360s, and that was the Air Max Plus upper with the Air Max 360 sole. And the 360 sole was this really interesting long singular like air unit, and that was the first time I distinctly remember being supremely jealous of someone else's shoes. For the person back in primary school who had that shoe, you know who you are. I want your shoes. And here we are in 2022, and you know how sometimes just something crosses your mind from the past, and I decided to go look ahead and see what 360s are out there. And I found these pairs of 360s supposedly dead stock at a really decent price. So I haven't actually opened the box yet. We're gonna do a live unboxing just because it's very possible that given the shoes over 15 years old, they might be completely unusable. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed, but today we'll be reviewing the Air Max 360 in the silver pink colorway. Let's just get that going. Professional always use scissors, open blade like this. So these are my unfiltered first reaction to opening this box. And oh my god, we really are back in 2006, boys. Let's take a little tour of the box. And it's pretty clever actually. It's just every angle of the shoe in box form essentially. So you've got the side, you've got the bottom of the shoe, you've got the back of the shoe, and you've got the top of the shoe. So pretty clever on that part. And this is where the analogy breaks down because this is where all the information is. And here we go. Oh, well, hey, that's not bad. So right off the bat, just off this first little impression, I could already tell there is some discoloration. That's to be expected. I saw a photo of what these look like brand new, but we do have some yellowing. However, we don't have any cloudiness in the bubbles, which is the main thing I was quite worried about. But it looks like we might be in luck today, and I might actually get to keep these. Before I go to work, you know I have to do a cheeky try on. Even though we might be risking a lot to do this. How about that? I think we've got ourselves a bit of a winner. Should I? I think I should. No explosions yet. Give me that. Very nice. And if you're wondering why my hair's wilted, the unboxing was filmed yesterday, but now it's time to get into the review proper. And here we are, the Air Max 360 in the pink mist colorway. So just on initial impressions, the two Air Maxes I see in terms of like the design inspiration, I see a lot of the 97 and a little bit of the 95 in this shoe. So regarding the 97 inspiration, the upper is covered in this predominantly silver, kind of like plasticky material. And it has like sort of black lines that very much look like the 97 sort of wavy lines that you've seen on like the original silver bullet colorway. Then in terms of the 95 inspiration, I find that this layer on the toe box in this pink mist color, this arrow shape is very reminiscent of the 95's toe box. I don't mind the toe box of the 95. I hate pretty much everything else about the 95, spoiler alert. So running all the way from the tongue down to the toe box, around the mudguard, all the way down to the heel, we've got this pink mist layer, and on the topic of the tongue as well as the heel, these gray accents are all actually 3M reflective. There's quite a lot of 3M on this shoe, a lot more than I thought there'd be, so when you hit the shoe with flash, you get a nice little pop to it. And one last interesting thing to mention about the upper, or at least what's going on inside, is the insole actually has a very fun print that shows what they call the Air Max Revolution. So if we go from 87, we've got the 1s, and then the 90s, then the 180s, 93s, 95s, 97s. Interestingly, they include the 2003, which I looked at a photo of, and very interesting that they included that in the timeline. And then 2006, where they introduced this fat air unit. Then moving down to the midsole, which is the most nostalgic part for myself, we get to the, I guess, long forgotten but very much distinct looking Air Max 360 air unit. And what makes this air unit so special is that there is no foam between the upper and the air unit itself, so you're pretty much directly standing on the air unit, which is something they actually changed the next iteration when they introduced the Air Max 2009. There was a small wedge of foam in between. And then even when they introduced the new air unit for the 2013 Air Max, there was a bit of foam as well. It wouldn't be until the Vapor Max in 2017 that they would return to this no foam air setup. So in a lot of ways, the Air Max 360 is very much like the precursor to the Vapor Max in that principle of no foam between the foot and the air unit. One interesting thing about this shoe that you wouldn't really know unless you've actually handled the shoe before is that this caging layer that sort of wraps around the air bubbles is a lot stiffer than I thought it'd be. It really does sort of cage the air unit, and I guess it would make sense because the heel would probably see a lot more weight, so they would have to stabilize the air unit, otherwise it would just be a wobbly airbag. So pretty much all these sections are hard plastic, but you've got windows to the air unit that still allows it to flex even under pressure. Then moving to the outsole, we've got the tried and true sort of waffle outsole with the little accents of pink mist. I keep forgetting the name. And what's really cool is around the sort of heel area, it actually is just sort of like a clear membrane that you can see the air unit. So if you put a torch, you can have a little fun with that. And funny thing, they've got a www.nikerunning.com on the heel. But also, because this is the women's shoe, they said tuned for women. So that pretty much covers all the features of the Air Max 360. In terms of sizing, I just did the normal Nike conversion and it seemed to work out fine. For those that don't know, Nike men's sizes and women's sizes is like a size and a half apart. So for me at least, I'm a men's 9.5. I bought these in a women's 11 and it turns out they fit pretty well. Maybe like a tiny bit narrow, but in terms of the length, it was pretty much perfect. So whatever size you would normally get, just convert it to the women's size and you should be good. So I'm typically a US 9.5 for most of my sneakers. I bought these in a US women's 11 and they fit me great. If you've been enjoying this video so far, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know if you are someone who used to own or still does own an Air Max 360. Let me know what your favorite colorways are, some of your pros and cons, and what you think of the shoe overall, because I mean, this is my first time ever owning the shoe. Now I get into the part of the video where I talk about my opinions of this shoe. And in terms of like the 360's upper itself, I actually don't think it's a bad looking shoe. But for me, the 360 sole has become like synonymous with the TN upper because that was my first exposure to the shoe ever. And funnily enough, that was actually my first exposure to the TN itself. So for me, in a weird way, I actually see that TN 360 hybrid as my kind of like OG TN in my head. So the first time I actually saw a proper TN with the separated air unit and the much more like kind of like big arch in the middle, I actually thought it looked a little strange because for me, I always thought like the TN looks better with this full-length air unit. But I mean, that's all nostalgia and that's all just like your memories. And obviously, those who remember the TN coming out in '98 will probably think like the hybrid looked strange. But at least for me, that's always been in my head. And something about that full-length air unit with just that sheet of rubber as well as no foam in the upper just kind of gives this like this ridiculous like thick air bubble look. And call it childish, but I do like a giant air bubble in my shoes. And overall, considering that this was in dead stock condition and the fact that they're still wearable, because I think the fact that there is no foam actually saves this shoe because it's usually the foam that crumbles over time. But it seems like this air unit is fine. The caging might crack, so we're gonna have to see how that holds up. In fact, I'm gonna be test running these tomorrow. I'm not gonna run in them, I'll wear them, but we'll see how that goes. I'll do an update video if something terrible happens. But overall, I am just quite happy to have this in my collection. And yeah, it's just like you'll never see anyone wearing this on the street, and you know, who doesn't want to have a unique sort of shoe? And with that, we've come to the end of another video. So I'd love to hear what you guys think of the Air Max 360 in this pink mist colorway. And I guess, you know, out of any of the 360s, what are some of your favorite colorways? I've seen some like blue pairs that are pretty decent as well. The TN 360, very much like I would love to have those, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section down below. And if you're into more dance, sneakers, vlogs, that sort of thing, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Time for the On Feet, and I'll catch you guys in another video. I just realized this couch is really busy, and this shirt's really busy. I'm a professional.